make you look good from what you give us.
I appreciate it.
So yeah.
My name is Shawn Torres, and I am the youth minister at St. Luke AME Church in Harlem. My upbringing was rough and smooth at the same time. I grew up with my mother, my brother, my sister in Philadelphia. Grew up with no father, grew up in a home that was abusive, not only to me, but to my mother. So childhood was, some days were good, some days were bad. Altogether, it turned out to be a very interesting childhood. Grew up in the church, always in church, always finding refuge in church, always finding myself running to the church because I wasn't one to like hang around with everybody else. I wasn't one to like be in the streets. I found myself in church. What keeps me in the church is the need to restructure the church, because the church can be a very oppressive place, very oppressive. The church can be a very exclusive place. So to make the church inclusive and valuable in the lives of all people, make the church a place that people are safe, people are treated with respect, people are treated with dignity, people are, treated like people. What I do for a living, I am, like I said, I'm a youth pastor, but I also am a full-time grad student at Union Theological Seminary, where I'm trying to do some work around the lives of Black gay men as well as LGBTQ and same gender loving youth, trying to create safe spaces and make the gospel come alive for all people, not just young people, but for older SGL, LGBTQ folk. So what I love about the work that I do, or what I'm trying to do, is make the church a place that all people can find the love of God in. Yes, I do advocacy work around the lives of people who are infected, affected, impacted by HIV and or AIDS. The work I do around this is also included in the church, how we can create spaces in the church for those people who are affected, infected, or impacted by HIV and AIDS. My advocacy work begins with young people, telling them my story about being HIV positive, and opening up dialogue between myself and them about my how I became HIV positive, and other education on safe sex tips, abstinence, or other STDs that are out there. It begins with them. And then my work, it goes from like the direct services side all the way to the theological implications and theological perspectives and theological narrative side. Community can be as big as the world, or a community can be as small as 2 and 3 people. To me, community is a group of folk who have common values, common beliefs, things that unite them, things that kind of bring them together, and they recognize those other things, they recognize those values, those beliefs, those yearnings in other people, and that draws them together to form this type of community that's like void of color, void of gender, void of gender expression, void of gender identification, void of all of those things that kind of like separate us as people. So I think that's what community does. Community is a way that people, humans, beings can come together in like a mutual setting, a mutual space, a common setting, a common space, a limitless setting in a limitless space.